You sounded different on the phone earlier. Are you okay?
I don't know. That's the problem. I don't even know what okay is anymore.
Talk to me. You don't have to hold it together with me.
I need to tell you something, and I don't really want anyone else to hear it. Tonight the house felt heavier than usual, like the walls could hear me thinking.
Heavier how?
It was just another quiet night. Him on the couch with the TV, me in the kitchen pretending to wipe a counter that was already clean. I kept waiting for him to look up, to ask how my day was, to notice that I was just standing there staring at the table. He didn't. He just muttered, "Thanks," when I put his plate down, eyes still on the screen, and it hit me. I'm living with someone who feels like a stranger.
That sounds incredibly lonely.
It is. When the kids were home, the noise kind of hid it. There were arguments, laughter, slammed doors, someone always needing something. Now it's just dishes, the fridge humming, the clock ticking too loudly, and this man across from me who eats, nods, and barely looks at me. Sometimes I feel like the housekeeper, not a wife.
Did last night feel different for some reason?
It did. When he said thanks without looking up, something inside me just cracked. I walked back to the sink and thought, I'm not okay. I've been pretending for so long, but I'm really not okay.
What happened after you thought that?
My brain immediately tried to shut it down. You're fine. Other people have it worse. Don't be dramatic. You know that voice.
The one that tells you to just keep going.
Exactly. But it felt like another part of me finally pushed back and whispered, "No, listen, this hurts." I actually had to grip the edge of the counter because my hands were shaking.
What hurts the most?
Not being seen. I move through this house all day, doing things nobody notices, feeling things nobody asks about. I honestly think I could disappear for a few days, and the only thing he'd really notice is that his socks aren't folded, and I don't even know when I stopped asking for more. I used to try to talk, to tell him how I felt. After enough short answers and shrugged shoulders, it just felt easier to go quiet.
When was the last time he really asked how you were?
I can't remember. Not just, how was your day, but how are you really? I don't think I've heard that from him in years.
So you finally said it to yourself instead?
Yeah. I went upstairs earlier than usual, just to get away from the TV. I sat on the edge of the bed with the little lamp on, that soft yellow light, and I could hear the rain starting outside. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. I looked tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. Older, yes, but also kind of faded, and I whispered, "I'm not okay." Hearing it out loud made my chest tight, but it also felt like the truest thing I've said in a long time.
How did you feel after saying it?
A strange mix of relief and panic. Relief, because the truth was finally out there, even if it was just between me and that mirror. Panic, because now I can't pretend I'm just going through a phase. My whole life I've been the one holding things together. For the kids, for him, for the house, for everyone's image of us. If I admit I'm not okay, it feels like I'm risking all of that falling apart.
You've been the glue for so long, you don't know who you are without that job.
Exactly. I don't know how to be anything else.
When did the distance really start, do you think?
Probably when our youngest left for college. The house got quiet, and I suddenly had all this space to hear my own thoughts. Before that, I could blame stress, schedules, teenagers. After they left, it was just him and me, and the silence between us. I tried at first. I suggested walks, asked about his day, planned little at-home date nights. He'd go along with it, but he was distracted, always half on his phone or thinking about work. After a while, the rejection was so small and constant that I just stopped reaching out. Nothing exploded, nothing dramatic. Just enough distance, day after day, to make me feel completely alone next to someone I've shared a bed with for decades.
Have you talked about this with anyone else?
No, I don't want the kids to worry, and I don't want our families to judge him. From the outside, we look stable, long marriage, decent house, kids doing fine. People assume that means we're happy, so I play the part. I smile at gatherings, tell stories about the grandkids, answer "we're good" when people ask. Last night I realized I'm the only one still performing that version of us.
That's a heavy role to play alone.
It is. That's why I called you. Because sitting in that heavy quiet, listening to the rain and the TV downstairs, I knew I couldn't keep convincing myself I'm fine. I needed at least one person to know the truth, that I'm not okay, and I'm so tired of pretending I am. When I woke up this morning, it was still raining. That soft, steady kind of rain that makes the whole house feel like it's wrapped in a blanket. He was already downstairs. I could hear the coffee maker and the low murmur of the morning news. For a second, I just stood at the top of the stairs and watched him from behind the railing. This man I've shared more than half my life with, sitting alone at the table staring at his phone, and I felt something strange, like I was watching a scene, not living it, like I wasn't part of the picture anymore.
That must feel so isolating.
It does. I walked into the kitchen, and he looked up for a second, just a second, and said, "Morning," not unkind, not warm either, just routine. I poured my coffee and sat across from him. We were barely 2 feet apart, but I swear it felt like we were sitting on opposite sides of the world. He kept scrolling, occasionally clearing his throat. I wrapped my hands around the mug just to have something to hold on to.
Did either of you try to talk?
I asked how he slept. He said fine without looking up. Then he asked if the trash had been taken out because he heard raccoons last night. The kind of small talk that fills space but doesn't mean anything. And as he talked about raccoons, I felt this wave of sadness hit so fast I almost lost my breath, because it made me realize that might be all we have left. Tasks, chores, logistics, not feelings, not dreams, just reminders and routines.
That's a painful realization.
Yeah. I sat there nodding, pretending to care about the trash, and inside my mind I was saying, this is it. This is the marriage now. And the worst part, he didn't seem unhappy with it. He seemed perfectly comfortable in that distance. The man who used to reach across the table to squeeze my hand now scrolls through weather reports like they matter more than the person sitting across from him.
It sounds like you feel forgotten.
Forgotten, unseen, unnecessary, all of it. When the kids were young, my days were filled with purpose. Every hour meant something. There were meals to make, rides to give, homework to check, tears to wipe. I used to think I'd be relieved when they grew up. More time for me, for us. But instead it feels like someone turned the volume down on my entire life.
That shift hits a lot of people harder than they expect.
I wasn't ready for how quiet it would be, and I wasn't prepared for how invisible I'd feel once I wasn't Mom every minute of the day. The kids still love me, but now I'm a background character in their busy lives. They call when they remember. They visit when their schedules allow. And I understand. It's normal. But that doesn't stop it from hurting.
What part hurts the most?
The feeling that I built my whole identity around taking care of people who don't need me anymore, and living with someone who doesn't look at me the way he used to. I gave so much of myself to this family that I don't know who I am without the noise, the chaos, the constant movement. Now the house is clean, the rooms are empty, the laundry basket stays half full, and I walk around wondering what the point of my day is.
That's a heartbreaking place to be in.
This afternoon, I sat in the living room with the curtains open just enough to let in that grey light. I watched the rain hit the window and thought, is this really my life now? Just waiting for the kids to call, waiting for him to notice me, waiting to feel like myself again. I used to be someone who laughed easily, who made plans, who felt excited about things. Now I wake up and all I feel is heavy.
You're carrying so much alone.
I know, and I hate admitting that. I'm supposed to be strong, steady, the one who keeps everything moving. But lately, I've been snapping at small things, spilling something and crying over it, forgetting what I walked into a room for. Sometimes I sit in my car in the driveway for a few minutes before going inside just to gather myself, because stepping back into the quiet house feels like stepping into a vacuum.
When did you last feel truly connected? To him? To yourself? To anyone?
Honestly, I can't remember. Maybe when our youngest was in high school and life was chaotic. At least then we had something binding us together. Games, dinners, projects, emergencies, things to manage as a team. Now it feels like we're two people waiting out the same storm separately, in the same house but different worlds, and I don't know how to bridge a gap that neither of us acknowledges out loud.
It sounds like you're grieving a version of your life that doesn't exist anymore.
I am, and I didn't realize it until recently. Last night, when I finally admitted I wasn't okay, it felt like mourning. Mourning the woman I used to be, the marriage I thought I'd have, the noise that filled the house, the sense of being needed. It's like everything kept moving forward and I stayed behind.
You're allowed to feel all of this.
I know. Hearing you say that helps more than you think. I wish the person sitting across from me at breakfast cared enough to ask why I look tired, or why I'm quieter than usual. I wish he'd put down his phone and see me, really see me. But I'm starting to accept that he might not know how anymore. This afternoon, after he left to run errands, the house felt so quiet it almost echoed. I made myself a cup of tea and sat at the kitchen table, the same place we've shared thousands of meals, conversations, arguments, everything. But today it felt like a place where someone else's life had happened, not mine. I kept tracing the rim of the mug with my finger, just circling and circling, trying to calm myself down. But instead of calming me, it brought up this wave of memories, things I hadn't thought about in years.
What kind of memories?
Ones that made me realize how far away I've drifted from myself. Like when the kids were little and the house was never quiet. I remember laughing until I cried because someone spilled juice all over the dog, or because my youngest used to run around the living room in pajamas pretending to be a superhero. Back then, I didn't have time to feel lonely. There was always something urgent. Someone needed dinner, someone needed a ride, someone was crying. I thought the noise was overwhelming sometimes, but now I'd give anything to hear it again.
It's okay to miss that chaos.
I do. I miss the version of me who thrived in it. And while I was sitting there today, staring at the steam coming off my tea, it suddenly hit me that those years, those loud, messy, exhausting years, were the last time I truly felt alive. I didn't realize how much I relied on being needed to feel like I mattered.
A lot of mothers go through that after the kids leave.
I know, but it doesn't make it hurt less. It's not just the kids leaving. It's that I never built anything for myself outside of them. I didn't go back to school. I didn't pick up hobbies. I didn't travel. I kept saying someday, when things slowed down. And now that things have slowed down, I feel like I missed my chance.
It's not too late to do those things.
I want to believe that, but it feels different now. It's not just about time, it's about energy, courage, direction. I used to feel like I had endless reserves, like I could remake myself if I wanted to. Now I wake up tired, and just thinking about changing something makes my chest feel tight. I feel old in ways I never expected, not just physically, emotionally.
What do you mean emotionally?
Like I've lost some part of myself that I can't get back. I used to talk to myself, if that makes sense. I used to dream out loud, plan things, imagine different futures. Now my inner voice feels quiet, dull, like she's too tired to keep up. And today, sitting at that table, I realized I don't even know what I want anymore.
That kind of emptiness is scary.
It is. The thing is, I think aging comes with a grief no one warns you about. Not just the wrinkles, or the aches, or the slowing down. It's grieving the futures you'll never have. The versions of your life you've quietly accepted won't happen. And I think that's what's been weighing on me these last few years. Not one big loss, but thousands of small ones.
That's a powerful realization.
It scared me. I sat there thinking, is this really it? Is this what the rest of my life is going to feel like? And then I felt guilty for even thinking that, because I know I have things to be grateful for. My health, the kids doing well, a roof over my head. But gratitude doesn't erase loneliness. It just makes you feel guilty for feeling lonely.
You're allowed to feel both.
I'm trying to believe that. After I finished my tea, I walked through the house slowly. I don't even know why. Maybe I was looking for something familiar, something comforting. I stepped into the kids' old rooms. I still haven't changed them. Their posters, their books, their old trophies. It's all still there, and standing in that doorway, I felt this sharp ache in my chest, because those rooms feel more alive than the rest of the house now.
That's such a profound thing to feel.
I sat on my daughter's old bed and touched her pillow like she had just left it there. I remembered tucking her in, brushing hair out of her face, promising her that everything would be okay. And suddenly, I realized I couldn't remember the last time someone said that to me.
You deserve to hear that too.
I know, and I think that's part of what broke me last night. I've been holding all of this together with tape and hope, waiting for something to shift on its own. But nothing shifts unless someone notices, and right now, the only person noticing me is me.
And you finally listened.
I did, and today, for the first time, I let myself cry about it. Not a dramatic cry, just quiet tears sitting on the edge of the bed, letting the weight of the last few years settle into words I've been avoiding. Words like, I'm tired, I feel invisible, I don't know who I am anymore, I don't know how to fix any of this.
Those are honest words.
They are. And saying them, well, whispering them, made me feel something I haven't felt in a long time. Not relief exactly, more like clarity, like maybe I don't need the answers right away. Maybe I just need to stop pretending I'm fine.
That's a brave first step.
It feels small, but it feels real. And honestly, I think tonight I needed you to hear it more than I needed to hear it myself. Tonight feels a little different. I'm still tired, the house is still quiet, and nothing magical happened during the day. But something in me feels just a bit less tangled than it did yesterday. After we finished talking earlier, I made dinner. Simple, just soup and bread. He ate quietly like always, and I didn't try to fill the silence. I just let it be what it was. For the first time, I wasn't pretending it was fine. I wasn't forcing myself to smile or start a conversation that would go nowhere. And strangely, that felt honest. Heavy, but honest.
Honest is a good place to start.
I think so too. After dinner, I went upstairs before he did. I turned on the little lamp by the bed, the one with the soft yellow light, and sat there listening to the soft rumble of the dishwasher downstairs. I didn't cry this time. I didn't spiral. I just sat with myself, and it made me realize how long it's been since I let myself simply exist without rushing to fix, manage, or avoid something.
That sounds like a quiet kind of progress.
It felt that way. I even looked at myself in the mirror again, the same mirror that made me break down last night. I still saw the tiredness, the aging, the weight of all the years behind me, but I also saw something I didn't expect. Someone who's still here, someone who hasn't completely disappeared, and maybe that sounds small, but today that felt enormous.
It doesn't sound small at all.
I think the hardest part about midlife is the slow fading of roles, routines, purpose, even identity. No one warns you it's coming. You just wake up one day and realize the things that defined you for decades don't fit anymore. And then you try so hard to hold on to old versions of yourself, even when they don't make sense in your life now. Maybe that's what I've been grieving without knowing it. Not a person or a relationship, but a version of me that doesn't exist anymore.
And maybe a new version is waiting.
I want to believe that. I really do. Tonight, sitting here in this dim room with the rain starting again outside, I felt this little shift, so small I almost missed it. A thought came to me. I'm allowed to want something for myself. I don't know what that something is yet. I don't have a plan or a list or even an idea. But just realizing that I'm allowed to want, that felt like a breath I've been holding for years.
That sounds like the beginning of something gentle.
Gentle is good. I don't think I have space for big or sudden or dramatic. I need gentle. Today, after that moment at the mirror, I walked downstairs and made myself tea again. I opened the kitchen window a little to hear the rain more clearly. The sound was comforting, like the world was quieter, softer, and I started thinking about small things, tiny things, that I used to enjoy before life became all responsibility and routine.
Like what?
Reading, not for information, not to keep up with anything, just stories that made me feel something. I used to read all the time, and walking. I loved walking in the evenings, just around the neighborhood, not for exercise, but to let my mind wander. I stopped doing that when life got busy, and then I forgot it was something I liked. I even thought about painting again. I was never great at it, but I liked how it made me feel calm. These aren't big life changes. They're just little pieces of me I abandoned along the way.
Those pieces are worth picking back up.
I think so too. I'm not pretending I suddenly feel whole or hopeful. I don't. This loneliness didn't appear overnight, and it won't disappear tonight. But I feel aware, like I've finally stopped lying to myself about how heavy everything has become. And in that awareness there's a tiny sliver of space, space to breathe, space to grow, maybe.
You don't need to solve everything. You just need that space.
Exactly. I spent so many years solving everyone else's needs that I forgot I was allowed to have my own. And maybe my marriage won't change. Maybe he won't look up or ask or notice. I don't know. I can't control his silence. What I can control, what I'm finally starting to see, is how honest I am with myself about what I feel, what I need, what hurts, and what I've lost. And maybe, slowly, I can learn how to take care of myself the way I used to take care of everyone else.
That's more strength than you realize.
I hope so. Tonight, after he went to bed, I stayed downstairs for a while. I turned off the lights and sat on the couch in the dark, listening to the rain on the windows. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel the need to hide from my own thoughts. I didn't feel the urge to distract myself or play the role everyone expects. I just sat there, feeling the weight of everything, my marriage, the kids, the loneliness, the fear of aging, and instead of breaking apart, I felt something settle, like the truth had finally found a place to land.
That's a beautiful kind of settling.
It is. I know tomorrow might feel heavy again. I know the silence at breakfast will sting, and the house will feel too big and too quiet. But tonight, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it. I feel like I can name it, face it, live with it, without pretending. And maybe, just maybe, that's how healing begins, not with answers or plans or breakthroughs, but with a quiet understanding that you're still here, still breathing, still capable of wanting something more. And maybe that's enough for today.